This week's episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures takes us to northwest Colorado to hunt trophy mule deer with Steve West and his close friend and client, Mike Otto. This area of Colorado boasts solid mule deer populations and outstanding trophy quality. Steve and Mike will be hunting big muleys during the peak of the rut and one of the prime mule deer hunting destinations in all of North America. Join us as we hunt the big muley bucks of Colorado on another exciting episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures.
I'm Steve West, professional hunting consultant, and these are my adventures.
Steve's Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Stormcloth 2, Kershaw Knives, Corbon Ammunition, Montana Decoy Company, Global Outdoor Gear, Burris Optics, and the new Eliminator Laser Scope.
Welcome to this week's episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures. On today's show, I'm going to head out west to Colorado, and I'm going to hunt trophy mule deer with my good friend and client, Mike Otto. Now, I've booked several hunts for Mike over the years, and he's killed some awesome mule deer and one really good elk. Now, I'd originally booked Mike on a hunt into southwest Alberta, but the mule deer forecast up there wasn't looking very good. So I went ahead and looked around for a deer hunt that would meet Mike's criteria for a good hunt, and I came up with a permit on our northwest Colorado Ranching for Wildlife property that for the same week that I was scheduled to be there for my own personal hunt. We were going to be hunting on over 120,000 acres of private lands managed for the last 25 years to promote both population and trophy quality. These are two things you typically don't find in the same place very often, especially with mule deer. And the ranch has over 100,000 acres of pristine high desert sage country that is prime time habitat for mule deer. Now, because the property is in the Ranching for Wildlife program, we're able to hunt during the middle of November during the peak of the rut, and it just doesn't get any better than that. This property's been managed over the last 25 years to become an incredible mule deer destination. Now, following the hard winter kills in the early 1990s, it took well over a decade for the resident mule deer populations to recover. And now, because of the conservation efforts of the outfitter, the mule deer population and trophy quality have come full circle. This mule deer hunt's done by cruising miles and miles of open sagebrush and wheat field country glassing for deer. We had fresh snow and severely cold weather. I mean, it was really cold, like 0 or below 0 every morning. But by the time the sun would come up, the deer would start popping up. So the deer would bed most of the night and through the early morning. But when the sun came up, they'd get out and they'd really get active. And the rut was in full swing and bucks were chasing does everywhere.
It's about 3 degrees this morning. Mule deer on the move. Found some elk bedded up here, 6x6 and a 4x4 bull. But, the sun's starting to pop up. All the deer standing up, getting warmed up, kind of getting some sunshine. Rut's in full swing. Everybody's going bananas. And, oh man, it's just colder than all get out. I can hardly wait for the temperature to jump up about 10 or 15 degrees, make it a little more bearable. What we're doing here today is we're hunting via vehicles, covering a lot of country, and we're hunting 120,000 acres. We're down in the low country where primarily we're after mule deer, but the elk are moving down here into the winter range. Pocket full of tags, but use the vehicles to cover a lot of country, do a lot of glassing, and hopefully we'll be able to locate a couple of great big bucks before the end of the day.
Stay with us, folks. When we return, Mike Otto's quest for a big muley in Colorado begins right after the break. We'll be right back.
A new age of modern scope technology has arrived. Burris Optics presents the Eliminator. The Eliminator incorporates laser range finding technology with automatic bullet drop compensation calibrated to your rifle and bullet combination. Burris Optics, leading the way in modern scope technology. Burris's new Eliminator rifle scope, changing rifle scopes forever. Just range them and eliminate them.
I trust only Corbon, so ask for DPX ammunition at your local sporting goods retailer or check them out on the web at corbon.com.
Steve knows I'm a certified mule deer junkie. I enjoy hunting mule deer probably more than anything. This hunt really came about kind of last minute. I was booked for another area that didn't work out, and he was able to arrange my hunt here with Elkhorn. And, you know, it's a blessing that he did, I think, because it's great weather, great people, great deer, and lots of them.
On these previous hunts that Mike had booked with us, he'd already harvested some pretty good mule deer. And I was sure that he would be holding out for something good, and I was right. Well, the first day we looked at a lot of bucks. I mean, we covered a lot of country and we saw some good deer. And the next evening, well, we spotted a buck in the bottom meadow that half a second and I knew he was a shooter. As we moved up and put him in the spotting scope, it became pretty obvious that this buck was the real deal. He had some awesome mass, he had a couple of extra points, and he was a Regal class trophy. I mean, full maturity, probably 6.5, 7.5 years old. Big, deep chest and belly. He was fantastic.
I think, Steve, what if we let him just continue down like this, and then we just kind of
behind him,
ease down this way, and then we can circle behind him. We can just
I think you just let him go down here. We can shoot this direction.
You can shoot that direction?
Yeah, we can shoot this direction. We can't shoot that direction.
Okay.
So let him come down here then.
Then we can just take the truck, hide the truck.
Why even move the truck?
Or we can walk this way.
Yeah, let's get our backpack so he can lay prone. That's a nasty buck. Back right's got a big hook on one side. He's heavy, monster forks. This is what we've been looking for. Awesome. I'm not gonna take it. I think so. Here's the deal. Big awesome buck over here, working his way across in front of us. We got the wind in our favor. We got good cover. He's awesome big, and Tony's the man with the plan. So lead away, man. Let's get going. It's a stud buck.
Looks like the buck's coming right at us right now. There's a big chute there, a big draw that we're kind of hoping that he goes up into, or comes straight at us, whichever one. But we're gonna duck underneath here and wait for a little while. Look at the backs, like right now. How close is he? 300 yards, 3 1/4.
And we snuck up real carefully and into position, but we just ran out of cover. There's nothing between him and us but short grass and snow. And the buck was, say, 300 to 350 yards away, and we couldn't get any closer. It was going to be now or never. No matter what we did, we just couldn't get any closer to that buck. There was just too much open country to continue sneaking and stalking. And because Mike didn't have a Burris Eliminator laser scope, he'd had to guess his holdover, and it just cost him. I mean, if you don't have the tools to shoot the distance, you're better off holding out and not taking the shot and hoping that you're going to get another chance at that buck later. But you never know. Maybe there'll be a new Burris Eliminator laser scope in Mike's stalking this year. Well, we're no crybabies, you know, and while it was a missed opportunity, like I said, we weren't going to cry over spilled milk. You know, we got after it. We hunted even harder. We covered even more country. We glassed even more deer. I mean, like I said, we just continued to work hard. And the next evening, we took the bad boy buggy into a remote area where one of the elk guides had seen a big buck the night before. And sure enough, we found him.
Packing up here for afternoon hunt of the second day. We're gonna, you can probably see behind me here, take the bad boy buggy up the mountain this afternoon. Try to sneak in. This is a different spot. Sounds like hasn't been anybody in there in a while, so we're gonna take the bad boy buggy into the secret spot and see what we can find.
The honey hole, man. The honey hole.
The honey hole. All right.
A special little gift here for our guide. He's a big-time elk guide out here. Loves to hunt them during the rut. Montana elk decoy. Stash it in the truck so he finds it in a little bit. It's always a good gift for your guide right before the Christmas season. We're up on top. This is some good deer country. We haven't been up here yet. One of the guys saw a big buck up here last night. I figured we'd come up and see how big it really was. Sun shining. We're up here right about the right time. What do we got, about 2.5 hours, 3 hours of daylight left?
About 3 hours, yeah.
About 3 hours of daylight left, so we're gonna get out to where we can do some glassing, get down to some business. We're gonna get lucky here, a big buck.
Real lucky.
Let's get on down. Big buck 30, time to get it on.
After the break, Mike connects on a big muley buck in northwest Colorado. Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by Kershaw, the official knife sponsor of Steve's Outdoor Adventures.
Got a nice buck in the trees here. Dogging some does. We don't know where he's gonna come out right now. We're gonna get set up. Hopefully he'll come up on the open hillside for us so we get a shot. Get on him. Sweet buck, man! Yeah!
Good job, man. Good shooting. Redeeming.
That's a stud, man! Yeah!
That's a big mule deer, bro.
That's a big deer.
I ain't got no right to touch a buck that big.
Oh! Oh!
That's a good rock.
That's exactly what I thought he was doing. He's speechless. He's speechless. He was calling us maybe back there. I don't know. Oh, yeah, buddy. Good one. There it is, the end of a fantastic hunt. And boy, I wish we had some glorious story of belly crawling through the brush and bleeding for this one, but we were actually running the bad boy buggy up here on top of the mountain to glass. We looked at a couple of other bucks, a couple of nice 4-points in a couple of years. And this buck was right there. He came up on the hillside. He was just perfect. Big buck. You know, he posed up just right for the shot. Mike, throw me 5. I'm telling you, he put it on him. 330-yard shot up the hill. Whopped him, dropped him. It is just a fantastic example of the trophy bucks that y'all have out here in Northwest Colorado. I mean, peak of the rut, middle of November. It doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't get any more fun than this. And man, I can hardly wait to come back next year and do this again, because the number of young bucks that we've seen that are 1 and 2 years away from being able to, you know, reach their full maturity and antler size has been staggering. I mean, mind-blowing. We're looking at 20, 30 bucks a day, and I just can't imagine how much better the hunting's gonna get here over the years. But to take a fantastic trophy like this on a great shot off the sticks, 330 yards, man, I just high five once again. You get another 5. All right. Mike's buck was heavy, mature. I mean, this is an awesome buck by anyone's standards. And with Mike's tag filled, it was my turn. And after seeing so many good bucks during Mike's hunt and new deer showing up every day on the winter range, my expectations are really high. Now, I pretty much couldn't wait to grab the rifle and get to work.
With Mike Otto tagged out, it's Steve West's turn to hunt the big muleys of Northwest Colorado. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Steve's Outdoor Adventures is brought to you by Stormcloth 2, Kershaw Knives, Corbon Ammunition, Montana Decoy Company, Global Outdoor Gear, Burris Optics, and the new Eliminator Laser Scope.
You know, we probably looked at an honest 25 to 30 bucks a day. Some were big, some were small, and some in between. On the last day of my hunt, Tony and I were cruising in our trucks out to a 27,000 acre parcel of the ranch that had been pretty much largely unhunted because it was so remote. Tony had just gone through this draw and was headed up the other side, and I was going down into the bottom of the draw, and I turned and looked to my right. It was a huge buck. He was maybe 200 yards off the 2-track. He just lifted his head up.
Looked back in my rearview mirror and Steve had stopped, and I ran back down to where his truck was and started looking, and all of a sudden we seen this beautiful buck.
It's on, man. He's a big one. He's probably got, I know he's at least a 6x7. Oh, counting his brow tines. He's heavy, big, and nasty. At this point, I'd been hunting mule deer for over 25 years. I'd hunted in almost all the western states, 2 Canadian provinces, and while I'd taken some pretty respectable bucks, this was by far going to be the best deer that I'd ever had a chance to harvest. And to say I was jacked up was an understatement.
So Steve and I are gonna walk down this drainage a little bit, see if we can get a good shot. He's a really good, heavy buck with 2 or 3 cheaters on him. He's great, so we're gonna go see what we can do. I got him. You got him? Yeah.
Yeah, we got set up once, but he was in a tough spot. And because of the angle down into the draws and he was moving so much, we had to actually move in closer and get set up. You know what? He pushed that doe right at us.
I smoked you.
Yeah! Oh, yeah!
That's a fuck of a lifetime right there, baby.
Woo! That is how you range him and eliminate him, baby. Yeah! You know, I can't even begin to tell you what it was like as I walked up on that buck. He was awesome. 25 years of hard hunting, and I finally had a buck that I could call exceptional. I mean, it was an awesome hunt.
Yes! Is that what you've been looking for all these years?
That is what it's all about. Right there.
Man. Look at that cheater. That's what we've seen right here. It's amazing.
And those two over there.
Yep. Look at those brow tines.
Yeah.
Boy, he's wise.
I mean, I've been hunting mule deer my whole life, literally. I've never got a deer like that. This is one day where I got to hunt for myself. Got really fortunate. This buck was just in the perfect spot. The sun was on him. And
That's perfect.
I mean, I'm almost kind of speechless because it was an awesome hunt. We looked at him a lot in the spot and scope. We had a chance to get set up on him. We filmed him for a long time. It was just a lot of fun. Tony.
And it was a privilege.
Our hunt was a typical experience that anyone should expect. The guide staff is outstanding. You know, their equipment is perfect. The accommodations and meals were far better than average. And of course, the hunting is world class. You know, if you'd like to book this awesome mule deer hunt or the elk hunt for yourself, or any other big game hunt in North America or around the world for that matter, you know, give my office a call. The toll-free number and website address are listed on the screen. And we're always available to take your calls and answer your questions. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this week's show. But please remember to join us again next week for another exciting episode of Steve's Outdoor Adventures.